Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's One Way Up here, back with another car review. And in this video, I have the Jeep Wrangler in front of you. Now, the Wrangler has so many different versions that you can get, and these cars are very customizable. Jeep Wranglers are very famous. They've been around for a while, since World War II, and then they were eventually converted over to civilian vehicles in the 80s, I believe. So this is the fourth generation of the Jeep Wrangler. And as you can see, this is in the standard Wrangler. It does have some blue touches running along the side of the car because this is the Willys edition. Now the Willys edition is a 4xE. You can get the 4xE in other Jeep trim levels, such as the Sahara and the Rubicon, I believe. But this Willys edition looks nice. It does have these blue hooks on the front bumper, which stand out right away. Another difference about the 4xE trim or this Willys edition is that you get a blacked out Jeep grille in the front, which is a separate tone from the rest of the white going along the vehicle. You have your Willys, of course, on the side of the hood. Trail rated is highlighted in blue accents along with the Jeep Wrangler writing on the side. You get nice big tires with the Jeep, which really stand out, give the car a nice tall and all-terrain look. And the blue accents carry over to the rear of the vehicle, as you can see with the 4xE logo with the E in blue. Your blue hook on the bottom by the license plate. And you do get this cool four-wheel drive writing in a nice font. So this is the fourth generation of the Jeep Wrangler. Nothing much has changed for this 2023 model year. Overall, the Wrangler has kept the same look for a while. It's a very classic, iconic look. Even has the old-fashioned antenna on the side right there. So with this vehicle, you can get it equipped with remote start. But this one does not have the remote start. This is just standard Jeep key, but you do have the option to get that as well. So no keyless entry, just hit your unlock button, opens up the door. Now, I never was a big fan of Wranglers, but they have started to grow on me the more I drive them. They're very unique vehicles. One thing I could start off with is when I open the door just feels so light, and it isn't really big in a sense. So it's very light. You're able to take it off, of course. It's one of the things that people, do with Jeeps. Giving you guys a look at the interior. You do get cloth seats in this version, but you do have leather seats and different things you can do on higher level trims. Now there's your remote start stop button. I'm going to turn on the car. Now it is a hybrid powertrain, which is very unique for a Jeep. So it is very quiet when you start it up. I'm going to step back out. You hear the horns beep when the key is outside of the vehicle while it's on. I'm going to try to unlatch the hood to show you the engine of the vehicle. It's going to be hard to do with one hand, but these Jeeps are very unique with how they latch their cars. Okay, that took way too long to get open, but showing you guys the engine. This is a 4-cylinder engine in the Jeep. It is also paired with an electric motor, which giving it a total output of 375 horsepower and over 450 pound-feet of torque, I believe. You can also get this with the base engine, which is a 3.6 liter Pentastar V6, putting out around 300 horsepower. And you also have the option to get the 392 version, which puts out around 470 horsepower from its 6.4 liter. But this engine, I feel like, is a great engine to get with the Wrangler. I'm glad that they decided to move in this direction with these hybrid powertrain. You do get a great amount of power, also paired with fuel efficiency. So I feel like this is the best engine to get with the Jeep Wrangler. Now let's see if I can close this up. It's a lot easier to close it with one hand then to open it. Even these side view mirrors are unique. They are thinner, like plastic, and they actually come off with the door when you take it off. Jeep mats, rubber, perfect for the type of use for this vehicle. Starting with the display, you have digital display in the middle with some analog tachometers on the side. You have RPM meter, and this is typically not a tachometer or whatever you would call it, but it does have a meter that shows you your current charge level and how much power you're using of the battery. You do have your basic menu options that you'll see in a lot of other Jeep and Dodge products, but you do get some off-roading menus to show you the degrees of where the car is tilted and more information related to that. Steering wheel, taking a step back. This has basic cruise control, not radar cruise control, but you do have your Bluetooth and phone audio controls on the left side of the steering wheel. It's a solid steering wheel. Don't have anything bad to say about it. They did a decent job with it. Got your turn signals right here with your high beams, your wipers adjustment even for the rear wiper as well, which also goes up when you lift up the rear window, which I'll show you later. Moving over to the left side of the vehicle, you do have these unique buttons that you do get in the hybrid versions of the Jeep. You have a hybrid mode. This looks like it's an all-electric mode, and the e-save. Don't know what e-save does, but all these things seem like they will help you save on gas, which is one of the main purposes of this vehicle. Interesting thing, door adjustments are in an awkward position, but it is designed this way so that it's easy to remove the door and keeps everything straight and flat. Very flat door. You don't really have much storage space. A little bit over here where the handle is, and you have nets down there, but when you pull the nets out, you can probably fit a nice fat water bottle down there, and you're not limited as you would get in other cars with fixed door compartments. Now moving over to the center infotainment screen. This is the standard screen, but you do have the option to get this in the 8.4-inch Uconnect, which comes with the navigation, and you'll get a bigger display. This screen, I feel like it is a little small, so if you were to get this vehicle, definitely go for the 8.4-inch Uconnect. Nothing has changed over the years. Standard Uconnect. Your tabs are on the bottom. It's pretty easy to follow, and the screen is pretty responsive. One thing I do like that they also do with their infotainment system is that you do have the option to change the theme of it, which is very nice and customizable for your vehicle. Climate controls, straightforward. I do like this region button right here. So when you have this mode on, which I do have right now, I don't see a reason why people would want to take it off, but it drives more like an electric vehicle. So when you take your foot off the gas, the car will start to slow, using the vehicle to recharge the battery. I think it's a great feature. Once I've driven other electric cars like Teslas and Kias, I feel like the regeneration feature is a no-brainer. It recharges the car as you drive, and it takes less effort to slow down. You don't have to move your foot back and forth between the gas and the brake pedal. So great feature that they added to this vehicle. Your window controls are in a unique place, which is in the middle as opposed to on the door. You have your 12-volt power outlet, aux, USB ports, a little bit of storage space down here. Not much. You don't really get that much storage space in this Jeep. You might have a little here if you can fit something that could be pretty snug and won't slide around, and you do have this little slot underneath the brake handle. Cup holders, decent size. I do like this little pocket that you have to place a phone. This shifter is to change your drivetrain settings. So you have your 2-wheel drive high, your 4 high, neutral, which I don't know what this neutral mode is for, but you know, it's a Jeep. So nice air vents. I do like the fully ways you can turn it, adjust it, turn it off simply by just folding it that way, so there's no air blowing. You have your handle for when you're going crazy off-roading. You got your doors off so you don't fly out the vehicle. Armrest, it's nice, nicely padded. I'm glad that they didn't make this plastic as they did most parts of this car, so it's a comfortable place to rest your arm. Now when you open the top tier, you're like, wow, there's barely any space. I have a phone in there and some keys, but luckily they do give you a bottom layer where you do have a lot more space and it goes deeper into the car. So the vehicle is comfortable as far as the seating. Now the ride quality is not the best, I will say, but this car does a really good job of soaking up potholes on the road, especially when you drive in the city like where I am in New York City. You do get a lot of potholes. I remember on my way to work one morning, I would always avoid a certain pothole because I've driven over it a few times and it would shake the car. I went over it with this vehicle, didn't even plan on going over it. I felt the car go over the bump and then I like looked back at it and I was like, wow, you know, it didn't even shake the car as much as I thought it would. So if you're into that off-roading stuff, this is the perfect car for you. We do have a small glove box, so like I said, the car doesn't have much storage, but that's that with the front. Now with the roof can be taken off. You do get some speakers. I guess this is the center pillar. The sound system sounds very good in my opinion, and these speakers right behind your head give you the impression that it's a really loud sound system, even though it's probably not. But I always felt like the Jeep Wranglers had a great standard sound system. You can always upgrade to the Alpine as well. But now I'm gonna open the door. Let's show you guys the back seat. Seats are manual adjusted, by the way, in case you were wondering. Now this doesn't look like it's going to be much space back here, but let's see how we fit. So I am 6'3" in the back seat. It's very tight. Now I do drive a little bit further back than normal, so it's tight for my legs, but if I were to have the seat further up, I'm sure it would be better. Headroom is actually very good. I am surprised with how much headroom I have. I didn't expect it to be this much. But if you're not, you know, crazy tall like how most cars are, you'll have no issues sitting in the back seat or putting a tall adult in the back seat if they're not over 6'3". Your vents continue to the back along with your rear window controls, which are down here. Like I said, not much storage. You do get these two slabs and a little slit right there to put some stuff. Not much in the door, and you have your cargo nets to store some things. And I'm stepping out. Now getting out of the car, it is higher than it looks, I will say that. Here we go with those beeps. This is your fuel cap right here. Before I show you the back, this is where your charge port is to charge your electric battery. And the cool thing about the car is that it tells you how long it's going to take to charge the battery to a full charge, depending on which charging station you use. So opening up the back of the Wrangler, showing you guys what it's like. A nice feature that I do like, there's no latches or buttons involved to open up the rear window. And this one actually has an Alpine speaker. No wonder it sounds so good. Okay, that makes more sense. But even with the standard system, it sounds pretty good in the Jeep. So seats could fold down, which will give you extra storage space, but overall the trunk space is pretty good in this class. Oh, looks like I should have pull this rear window down first, and then we close the back. So yeah, in my opinion, Jeep, they decided to go in a smart direction, which I feel like was the right direction to go with this hybrid powertrain. The car is fun to drive. Now the steering, I will say it's a little bit rocky. You have to constantly do steering inputs to keep the car straight, but I would say this is a fun vehicle. Now it may be a little overpriced. You're looking at closer to 50s for one of these, even to the 60s depending on how you option them, but it is a fun car, fully customizable. Get one of these if you are interested and make it your own. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.